Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I'm newtmechanist, and tonight we're going to be continuing our little game development project. It's been a little bit. Everything is definitely fine. The whole week's going to go smoothly. Nothing can possibly go wrong. But we'll see about that. In the interim, let's check in with the kitties first. Looks like we have Ember, Sky, Sammy, and Mason. I think Sherbet's in the tree. Let's check the tree. Zoom on in here a little bit. Oh yeah, there's Sherbet. You can see him in the little box. Aside from when Sky had his little bandage on, nobody else goes in there. Sky crammed himself in there a couple of times when he was dealing with the bandage, but otherwise that's Sherbet's spot. Yeah. Go for the bed since we have two kitties visible there. Well, hey there, Bubbles. How are you doing tonight? Let's pull this up. So, I wanted to get some of this done before the next coding stream, and I didn't. So everything's kind of broken, or is not functioning how I want it to yet. But we're gonna fix that. So, Bubble's doing okay. It's been there's been some sleep issues lately again. I've been struggling with the idea of whether I should medicate for that or not, and I'm always hesitant to do so. Usually hesitant to the point where it's too late, without the medication causing problems the following day, because it works really well. Well, it'll make me sleep. Let's see here. Where were we? Okay. So, we're gonna rename this. Okay, so mob template. We're going to try to use a resource model. So we've got the idea it will have a name. We'll have... What would it be? So what I'm trying to do here, we're going to start with one behavior for each mob. If the game were more rich in creature behavior, there would be more rich movement behaviors for the creatures. Like, hey, they can see you, so they move towards you. They can't see you, so they kind of wander, that kind of thing. But this is a players at the center of the screen and things swarm you, so there does not need to be rich movement. So there will just be the one. So one of the things that we want is tracking movement. This is the basic one. So they extend node. I wouldn't mind them extending something else. One of the things I've been considering is whether things should be able to track other bodies, or if all of them need body to track. Right now, that is essentially code for there's a player, go after them. But maybe we want entities that can do other things than just track the player. Can't really think of any just yet. Or to track one entity, I should say. Because we might have... The idea being that everything should have these. This is what is moving, what we're locked onto, and how fast we move. In the case of tracking movement, every time the world updates, not the screen, the world, this would be the screen. Every frame is processed. We say, okay, compared to where my target is and comparing where the target is and where I am, this is how I move. And assuming I'm moving, assuming there is a direction, I'm not right on target, I move that way. So let me do a move and collide, and it will slowly drift towards the player based on its speed, which we can set all of these things. What I could do is move all of this stuff out into a fixed object that would then have, it would essentially just inherit it. So this could be, I could copy this into a class just called movement template that would export these. And then I could extend movement template and just have these nodes in here. They would be the overrides. This movement direction is purely an intermediary because we set the velocity and body to move and make the body move based on its velocity. This velocity is set in the body to move so that the animation can reference it as well. Because we'll probably pass the physics body in there as well. Because I might have movement logic that does other things. Let's see. So we have our mob template. We know that the mob has a sprite to animate and a movement pattern. Because I do want things that aren't just tracking movement. I want launch across the screen, and I want effectively hold stationary. Maybe drift a little, maybe wobble in or out, that kind of thing. So you could have one that oscillates its distance from the target. So it would still generate this position, this direction, but it would figure out the distance associated with this. So you could start by not normalizing it and say it's this far away. And go from there. Once you know how far away it is, you could have some logic to say keep this far away, like use speed to determine how far you should keep. That would be kind of hacky to use speed for that, but we could probably still keep it that way. Yeah, we can do something like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go up into movement, and we're going to make a new script. It's going to extend a node, and it's going to be a movement template. And move it up into purely movement. We're going to make sure it's in purely movement. We're going to take all of this and put it here. We're going to move it from tracking movement to template. Template. Ha 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 ha. All of this out. So then we can go into tracking. Tracking movement got in it. Nothing. Okay. It doesn't extend to node, it extends the template. So it doesn't have these because those are already in there in movement template. So this demands that body to move and body to track are set. Speed ideally is set because otherwise it's not going to move at all. This doesn't need to be preserved. We don't need to store that off between updates since it's always going to essentially reinitialize it. Need to be a scene. I think it needs to be a scene. Packed scene. Yeah. So we want it to be a packed scene in particular because we want to put a movement template into the object. So if we go back up to mob template, one of the things we export I cannot type today. Okay, it wants a movement template object. Hey there, Keats. Welcome back. It is coding day. Finally. Class resource, but node export is on these node derived classes. Say. Is this better? Always concerned about that. It doesn't always work for me. It can get scrambly, so let me know if it's still broken or... Okay. I had done that several times. Okay, how do we fix this? Thank you. Move template extends node. Oh, but it doesn't need to. Because it's just a script. It doesn't need to be a node, right? We're gonna... Oh, but it does. It needs to extend node. Scene is largely irrelevant here. So, how do I do this? I do it as a... There we go. They don't really just want a packed scene. Like, I want it to explicitly be a movement template. Is it just you or what? Oh, I see. I see. Let me see. It looks like yes. It looks like yes. Yep. It do be like that. It do be like that. Well, I appreciate that. Feel free to, oh, actually, let me fix something. I know I forgot something. There we go. Oop. Forgot my my Twitch change. Had to get in there and fix that. The topic was wrong. Okay. So it can't extend a node in mob template, but what part of the Streamlabs thing? I let's see. I don't use Streamlabs. I use OBS directly. Right. I use OBS directly, and then I use StreamerBot to handle things like alerts for memberships and the like. The memberships would happen up above my head. I don't have anything for like followers or subscribe or anything like that for nothing for followers on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube. That is potentially spammy. I mean, I could ultimately do it. Small enough channel. Those mob template should be a resource, right? Sure, unsure. How do we do this? Who is the other person? Shouldn't be anybody else. Is that still somehow in the information? Or do you mean somebody else joined? Ah, yeah. I don't know. They might just be watching or listening. If I do packed scene, then that'll function, but the problem is that doesn't mean it will work right. Because I need to be able to have the right information on it. Hey there, maybe. Well, this is the only way it will work right now. I mean, it kind of goes with being a streamer. I do have a lot of folks that just like to come in and watch or listen to me talk and listen to the music. That kind of thing. Okay, so we have that in a movement template. Now we need similar for an animated sprite. So what we would do here, so if I go in and create scene, I start with a 2D scene. Say this is a blob sprite. In the blob sprite, change its type. So we can do animated sprite 2D here. Today we're doing code. We're making a game, Keats. There's nothing to see just now because I've broken a bunch of stuff to try to reformat the code to their names for what I'm doing, but effectively just doing some restructuring on it to try to make it a little cleaner. Go to this. So we want an animated sprite is this object here. Go in, need sprite frames. Hey there, Elijah. Welcome, welcome. Well, keep your real life in the forefront there, Keith. You know, don't endanger yourself in any fashion to watch a stream. Okay, where do we need to add our blob to this? Nice chill stream. We're doing some game dev. So we now need to go into our, it's not animation. Where did I put this? The default. There is a way to change this stuff. Where do I configure that? This? Ah, here we go. Right? This one. Okay, they are 6 horizontal and 1 vertical. That, and then we'll have 3 frames a second. Okay. We can always mess with that. and it needs to be at 6x scale to match everything else. Well, I know very little about Godot, so there's going to be the Godot engine, so a lot of this is learning that. We'll see how it goes. Okay, we want to change this a little bit, but first... Yep. A lot of this is going to be me chatting with folks and a bit of stream of consciousness as I talk through whatever is not working. I will just do a packed scene for now. Okay, so we don't want blob sprite to be just a sprite object, because we want to be able to pass it an entity to track the movement of, because we need to know when to turn left and right based on its vector. Effectively, there's a flip horizontal here that would make it face left instead. So what do we got to do here? So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to take these objects and just drop them in to a mob template, so that I don't have to worry about like changing the path or anything like that. Well, here, let me show you this. The cat cam is very important. I have 5 cats. Let's see if we can still see all of them. Yep. Not sure which one you're viewing through, whether you're viewing in tall form or wide format. But the little gray one that is partially on camera is Ember. She is the tiniest one. The one up in the cat tree is Sky. He's kind of gray and white, and he's big and fluffy. Hey there, Ghost. And Orcs, welcome. The two on the bed are Mason and Sammy. Sammy's the little tuxedo there. And then there's one that's in the cat tree with the little hutch. You can't see him very clearly, but that's Sherbet. Isn't that scrolling? There we go. Sure, that's scrolled all the way down. Hopefully it'll keep that way. Okay. Hey there, Raider. Welcome. We're doing some game development. We're trying to figure out how to structure a creature here. So that we can properly set it up. And thank you, I appreciate it. I like how it turned out. template is a resource. Mob templates are resources. Let's do. And if you do see Nightbot pop up in chat, it's not targeting you. It's just calling out some general rules. It does that periodically if people are chatting. Okay, so it's not a behavior. It is... Hey there, Roach. Animated sprite. Create a new script that is sprite template. That is going to be, it extends a resource. Most part, it just has been hotel. I only saw it before it actually became a series, some of like the promos that they did of it. And can you not hear me? Ghost, the sometimes I do I regularly do gaming streams, so there are some where the game can be spoiled. And if you can't hear me talk or something like that, call out. I will try to fix it. Am I? Is this not feeding properly? Oh, no, it seems to be. Okay. I can only say, Angel Dust, that I just recognize the screen handle that you use. And sorry if I'm not super fast in spotting. Sometimes the chat is scrolling a little slower for me. And hey there, Raider. Did you change your... It's like you changed your profile. And I see I can't pronounce that one, a PIY. So I'll start with pi, and then we can go from there. Lots of folks. I will be I will be trying to code through this, but I will try to look back and make sure I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Okay, so export, and it needs a... Well, I got to keep track of my kitties. For those that are newer to the channel, let me bring up the array here. I have the 5 cats. At one point, there were 7. So I always try to keep one of them on camera. There are 8 different cameras to track them from. The play area one, the one with the little black cushion stool there, they're not there frequently, but sometimes you can catch Sammy there or one of them passing through. Yeah, a bit FNAF-ish. As it were. Okay, I need to step away for just a moment to deal with something. Be right back. Be right back. Just a moment. just settling in, and we will continue. Okay, okay. Let's see if we can update that camera. Hey there, Dark. We're doing pretty good today. Let's see here. Cat cam. What's your next game? Oh, FNAF but with cats. And hello there, Crushed. Okay, what does it mean? It means it as a body. This is a character body. Var needs to be a variable. Let's see. Yeah, they are. The cameras are not just still frames. They are updating. I do have to kind of tap the lens now and again, or tap the screen now and again to get them to update. But I do have that built in, so. But yeah, let's see. It has to be body, and it's a character body 2D. I don't want it just to be. Oh well. I don't want it to just be a packed scene. This one has to be a character body 2D. Alright. You know what? This is a node. This is a character body 2D. Movement template is a node. Tracking movement is a node. Mob template is a node. This needs to be a. Hey there, strongest. Welcome. For those just joining us, we're doing some game development in chatting. I will try to keep up with the chat as best I can. I might miss things now and again. Please bear with me. Just adjust that, make it a little easier to see. Oh no, that makes it worse. There we go. That'll have to do. Mob sprite needs to be. Sprite template. Go into a mob template. This needs to be a sprite template. And a movement template also extends nodes, so this is a movement template. Hey there, Froggo. Thank you. The tan one that you can see right now is Mason, and the tuxedo is Sammy. Stream time is generally napping time for the kitties. Every now and then we get a little bit of playtime there. And hey there, Haruto. That's 2 of the 5, so I usually try to keep the camera aimed at the most cats at once. And failing that, we put it on camera 1, which is where Ember naps, since she rarely moves from that area. Okay, so we have a sprite template and a movement template and a blob sprite has to be as a thank you. And I'm getting a lot of opportunity to show these off, so let's run through the most of the cats are sleeping. In fact, all of the cats are sleeping right now, but one of them may have moved. Let's zoom in. Checking. It looks like he moved. All right, where did Sherbet go? Where did Sherbet go? Actually, no, that's Sherbet on the bed right now. Yeah. It's not Mason, that's his brother. So where's Mason at? Huh. Maybe he's in the laundry basket. Hey there, Kebo. We're making slow progress with the game. Hey there, demonetized. Yeah, there are 8 cat cameras. We gotta make sure kitties are on screen at all times. It's important research material. Okay, so we have a sprite template that is mob template that extends node. It's a body. And it has Sherbet, the brown one that you can see is he's one of those cats that is really into, like, really seeks out his comfort. Like, he'll contort to be comfy. Export. Is a animated sprite 2D. No worries there, Raider. If you need to step away or if you just want to lurk, that's okay. And that really goes for everybody. If you don't want to actively chat, that's just fine. I appreciate you swinging by. Let's see. Hey there, Ash. Welcome. Okay, so we've got our sprite template. So then we're going to have scene. Thank you. Thank you. What we're doing right now, Haruto, is we're writing a little game. I've wanted to do this for a while, and I've never really followed through. So I figured the stream will be a good opportunity. Good opportunity. Okay. Does it need to be a 2D scene? Well, let's start with that. Okay, so we have the blob sprite. Let's cancel that. Which emoji? You mean the what looks like a can of spam? Or, you know, a non-copyright potted meat? This is Godot, orcs. This is Godot engine. Okay, to function, sprite template needs a character body 2D. Potentially. You. Hey there, Carlos, and welcome back, folks that have returned. Yeah, the Godot engine got a surge of popularity because of the Unity corporate shenanigans. Indeed, cats there, bot. There's not much going on in the screen right now. Sure. Yeah, spam is like a spiced, blended up canned meat. If you ever see it show cat scan, that is it updating the camera. The little gray, orange, and white cat that you can see snoozing, taking up most of a camera, is actually the smallest cat. And the camera that she's on is the least reliable, so it goes into scanning mode regularly. Yeah, the only one that's missing is Mason. I have to assume he's sitting in the laundry basket again. Yeah. Gray, stripy orange one, she's a diluted calico, is Ember. Then the puffy gray and white in the cat tree is Sky. And then on the bed, on the tan blanket, the tan and white one is Sherbet, and then the tuxedo is Sammy. They're little sweethearts. Hey there, Warned. Also, hello, Dying. We are attempting to get some development done on a game using Godot engine. I don't think the program still works. Let's find out. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's broken. Yeah, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. I'm trying to reconfigure everything about this. Well, thanks, Warned. I appreciate it. So, Blob Sprite is a Scene 2D. It is itself an animated sprite. The mob template needs an animated sprite. Move the blob sprite to here. I'm trying to make a Survivors style game, like, you know, your Vampire Survivors, the recent Deep Rock Galactic spin-off, that kind of thing. But it's going to be themed after some critters that, like, my old avatar, some critters in the old Noida mod. We're at the very early stages here. Blob sprite. Let's add attach a script to it as the blob sprite G script. Read that. I have no idea at this point, Warned. Like I said, we're really early in the process. What I've gotten done and then subsequently broken is some very rudimentary world rendering, tile-based world rendering, both block and individual tile, and a couple of animated sprites, and some movement for those sprites. But once we get working models, I'll probably set up some playtestable stuff to get some feedback from folks. I'll probably put it on the Discord. Haven't decided if it's going to be a member thing or not. Might be a member thing first and then slowly open it up after we get initial feedback. But that's in the future. That's down the road. Sprite template should extend animated sprite 2D. All right, Bubbles. Well, thanks for joining us. If you do see me talking to somebody you don't see in chat, there are 3 streams going on at once. There is the 16.9 by 9 ratio widescreen stream, or, you know, standard resolution stream. There is the tall format, more of a phone format stream for folks that want to watch on that format. And then there is a Twitch stream. So you might be, I might be reacting to somebody that's in a different stream if you don't see them. Okay, that's an animated sprite 2D. Well, thanks, Warned. I hope it at least turns out to be fun, even if it doesn't end up being popular. I mean, Sprite 2D, Sprite template. It itself is an animated Sprite 2D, so it doesn't need that. Then blob sprite we'll need the script to flip things, but we're going to go into this one and we're going to change this to be change type. It is a template. Because it's a sprite template, we can that. There will be a live stream tomorrow, assuming everything goes according to plan. And thanks for joining us once again. Okay, it's a sprite template, which means we know that it has a character body 2D, the body, to function. And all that body will do is currently flip the sprite if it is facing the other way. Or that's what it'll be used for. So we have that there. And then we have the blob sprite here. Okay, okay. So then we have a mob template, which requires a sprite template and a movement template. So then if we have... eventually I'll want to call it something other than resources. So this is our initial one here. So we're going to delete this one for now. Ah, okay, that's why. Close that. Discard them. So I appreciate the fit. You can use you can use male pronouns if you like. They line up with the voice. As far as the avatar, it's largely irrelevant. Nanotypes are without gender. There is for those that haven't seen the full model. There's a that's just a solid plate down there. That's just fine. No, just if you want to just wait and lurk, that's fine. We're doing some game development right now. Little bumpy. Let's do a find in here. Spawner is not going to load a blob for now. Get rid of that. Does it crash? Looks like it's going to crash. Yeah, it be crashing. Type mob in the current scope. Mob. I'm gonna hash this out. We'll be doing testing as soon as we get it to a functional point. There we go. This is where we got to on the last stream. It just infinitely spawns these. Nothing happens if they touch the character. But that's the general idea, is again, kind of like Vampire Survivors, swarms of creatures moving towards the player. Player stays at center screen. Not a lot is working just yet, but we'll get there. Okay, so a blob. New scene. Extends a mob template. Oh, we do that. Those are my cats, Nogus. That's two of them, two of the five. The tan and white one is Sherbet, and then the tuxedo is Sammy. Stream time is generally nap time. Why can we not do that? Up templates. Node. Okay, we're going to attach a script. It's going to extend. Why not? Last name. Hey there, Ruby. How you doing? All right. We're still having a problem here. Well, we're trying there, Ruby. We're trying. I thought I had this working. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to instantiate one of these mob templates. Movement template. Tracking movement extends movement template. Tracking movement is a node. Is this a hierarchy problem? Don't worry about that, Noges. If you can't, if you should only join or donate if it's something that you really want to do and it's something that won't impact you personally. So if you don't have the funds, don't worry about it. No worries, we can learn together, Ruby. I have only just started using Godot engine, so I'm kind of in the same boat. Is it a folder hierarchy problem? I think it might be a folder hierarchy problem. So let's try something here. Yeah, it's a folder hierarchy problem. Okay, so we need to make sure that the template entities are not kept so separate from their actual entities. Okay. We're going to move blob down to mobs. And we're going to use move mob template down to mobs. Delete that folder. Mobs will have behaviors. Well, get some rest, Just glad that you could join us. So most of this stream is generally going to be cat cams, music, chatting, and my stream of consciousness as I mutter my way through trying to get this done. The thing that I just ran into is the fact that the scripts only exist within the hierarchy that is present. So this mob template can only be used by things within the same hierarchy. So I need to make sure that things like animated sprite and whatnot are properly housed. Well, I mean, that's always going to be a fear when you're dealing with this, is that you'll have somebody that comes in and says like, "Oh, your code is terrible." Um, I feel like I'm ready for it. Imposter syndrome helps for once. If you already feel like your code is terrible, then it's not like you're going to be surprised when somebody comes in and says your code is terrible. They're not scenes, though. Pretty much, maybe. When your code is going to be terrible to somebody. And it's always going to be able to be improved. It's something that if you come to terms with that, you'll make more progress. You can always do it better. You can always learn. But recognize that it's not going to be perfect the first time you do it. It's not going to be perfect the 10th time you do it. You're going to figure out new ways to improve it. You just have to get it to the point where it functions. Once it's functional, move on. I don't know what that first one, but I'm going to say AJ. Welcome, AJ. Okay. If all of mob is moved up to resources, will that still work? Hey there, Levi. Yeah, time is a thing, isn't it? Moves quick. Oh, okay. That can't be that. It needs to be mob name. Template compile error. Okay, it's gonna crash. I found that it works strangely, but it works is kind of a common thing to run into. I always tell the story of the load-bearing comment where there was a function that pretty much had a handful of lines, and then there was at the very bottom of it, there was some code cleanup that somebody had done where there was a variable that was nothinged out and it was irrelevant. You didn't need to do that. So they went through and they cleaned it up. They put a comment in over top of it so that you could see what was removed. And hello there, Tantan. Oh, okay. Well, hello, Sakura, once again. So they had that comment there, and the code worked just fine with that little bit of variable cleanup removed. because in theory, it would be removed at the end of the function anyway. But then subsequently, somebody went through and they were cleaning up the function. And they removed that comment. And suddenly it crashed during compile. Like, blew up violently. And it turns out that the lack of that comment made the machine code compile differently. It shouldn't have. A comment should be a no-op. It shouldn't have anything to do with the compile. But it did. So it was one of those, you can't remove that comment. It will explode if you do. So leave it there. Things get weird. What do I do in YouTube? I make short gaming videos, and I have started doing programming streams. And I'm going to resume doing some book reading streams. We're going to read public domain books. Last one we did was The King in Yellow, which started out good and ended bad. Okay, crash, please. There we go. Ah, okay. As long as your code is 100% self-evident to somebody who doesn't know what it's supposed to do, then you don't need comments. Well, thank you. I appreciate the sub, Tantan. Okay. So we're going to take mob. I think the comment ended up being changed to essentially say, don't remove this comment, it will crash. And hey there, Abaddon. We are in refactoring mode, let's call it. I'm trying to figure out what folder structure I want to use to make this work. I don't like it being under resources, and I don't like it being under scenes. Mob is a node 2D. So if it's a character body, pretty much, Abaddon, it got turned into a big red don't press button. Under no circumstances should you press this button. Which means inevitably sometime down the road somebody was like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to remove that comment because that won't cause a problem. Okay, let's do a test here. We're going to remove this call to mob, and we're going to put mob in here. That thing that I just did is what I'm trying to mitigate with this thing here. Okay, it's functioning when I do that. It can still preload it. Spawners. Don't know why it can access mob template and the others can't. so much. Okay, so when a spawner is created, it can take a mob to spawn, which is a mob template. Then if we go up into our resources, we have mob template. Mob template. Yep, delta time can be very important. That's another one of those ones that it's hard to get perfect. I was actually reading up on, well, watching some videos on delta time, and one of the tricks with delta time is it's not... Delta time tells you the time that passed between the last scenes. It's not the time since for this frame. It's the time in the last window. So you can always look back to the last window, but never the current window. You don't know how much time has passed between the current frame that is being rendered and the prior frame, because until the current frame gets rendered, you can't record that time. So everything is always a little bit behind. And if there's any movement changes, it gets real fuzzy. So the traditional multiply by delta time works, but there's nuance, which was neat. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it worked that way. Okay. So this isn't working how I want it to. This is unfortunate. I don't know long-term, Nogus. Short-term, it's probably just going to be an executable that gets made available to folks for testing. And by short-term, I mean an undisclosed, unknown period of time from now. I don't know if that's the video that I watched there, Ruby. Most recent one I watched, which wasn't related to Delta Time, was by the guy that made Thronefall. Okay, Noah. I will try to remember that. Okay, so what I want to be able to do is make all of these resources. Like, I want to have an object that I can pass in that tells the entity, like, here are the pieces that you need. Like, when I'm loading a creature, I want to be able to take the resource and define these. All I remember is... Actually, I think that it was the same guy as the one I'm thinking. He's made a lot of games. All I remember just now is that he had an Eastern or Northeastern European accent. That covers a great deal of ground, but that's all I remember. But it was a very robust video, very, very informative. Way overkill for what I'm trying right now. Okay, so just talking through what I'm up to here. I'm trying to make it so that I can define these various pieces of an entity without having to go in and make individual scenes for all of them. Like, I'm fine with the idea of having this. A sprite template extending animated sprite 2D. That makes sense. Hey there, Mangle. We are trying to develop a game in Godot engine. I'm trying to refactor some code and I'm failing. I'm not sure how to do what I'm trying to accomplish here. I think it's functional right now. Yeah. So nothing happens right now. There's no logic or anything like that. Why the cat? Because I have cats and I like my cats. Let's do the traditional intro here. I have 5 cats. It is apparently bath time for Sherbet. Mason is still MIA. But you can see 4 of them right now. If you're curious, little black rectangles that you can see, you can definitely see on 3 of the cameras. The little gray and orange cat that is snoozing is also on one of them. Those are outdoor heating pads. Maybe one of the folks that's regularly in here mentioned that the next game should be FNAF with cats. I think that's a pretty regular observation. I actually do like that kind of well, I don't like FNAF. The core mechanic of FNAF I don't like. But I do like FNAF-like games. Observation Duty, I like. I like the spot the difference style gameplay that those represent. Oh, that's right. That's your screen handle is Mangle. Okay. I haven't played the game, but I recognize the character names often. And hey there, is it Jacqueline? I recall that's like a white and purple kind of, well, mangled animatronic, as it were. So what we're trying to do, this is an animated sprite 2D. It's fine that that is a specific node. Because it has to be. It gets past a character body 2D because we want to be able to use that animation. So extending sprite template is fine. This is fine. That has to be a node. Mob template then would not just extend a node. Okay, we're just gonna run with what we've got here. A mob template should have a scene. And I mentioned this because sometimes people get confused, but Nightbot isn't talking to you, it's talking to the channel. It's just reminding people about chat rules. Nope, that's a bot. Ethan, I use VTube Studio to render the avatar. It is a live 2D avatar. I use a program called Vitamins as an intermediary, and I use VTube Studio on an iPhone for capture. You don't need a special program for VTubing. I'm sorry, you don't need a suit for VTubing in general. If you are doing 3D full body, you would need some sort of mocap style software and hardware for that handling. Starting point, I would suggest PNG tubing. I would suggest flat like multi-piece animation kind of image streaming to see if you like it. It's way cheaper and easier to do. And hello, Carter. And hello, Call Me Max. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I like how the avatar turned out, too. You can call me Newt Mangle. Like N-E-W-T, Newt. The channel name and the full name is Newt Mechanist. Mechanist is a title, not the last name. That's right. That makes sense, maybe. Okay, I'm just going to use a node 2D. Say it is a mob template. Template is a character body 2D. And each mob template would need to have an individualized collision box. But that makes sense. That makes sense. Wouldn't really be able to say there, Call Me Max. There are a lot of styles and concepts out there. The thing I would suggest is you don't need like lore or backstory or anything like that, but just think of something that seems cool to you and roll with it from there. This particular avatar has been through some iterations and some conceptual changes over time. It actually originates so some time ago, not when I started streaming, but when I really got rolling, one of the games that we played almost exclusively was a game called Noida. And I made my own mod for that. It was a mod custom to the stream. It's not something you can download. But that's where the advent of the catbot comes from, and you can see it here. This little guy in the middle is a catbot. Little TV head, cat ears, little glowy tail. Well, thank you, Call Me Max. Thank you. And I use that as both a viewer avatar, like I mean, you can feel free there, Mangle. I can't say that I will necessarily remember that you are referring to me, but I will try to remember that. I don't know if the nickname will stick. So the catbot is making a comeback. That was originally like my PNG tubing avatar, and the first one that I tried with Live 2D. And canonically, the Nyanite, what you see before you, is the follow-up product of the Catbot Corporation catbot. So it is a progression of concept. I have a lore and a backstory because I like to make up that kind of stuff. Okay. So mob template. How do I attach a script to it? Just script. Load that script. Well, I do hope you have a good birthday next week then, Max. Um, what was my starter idea? When I originally started streaming, I just had the cat camera. That's right, maybe. You don't even need to debut. Just catching up with some of the prior stuff there. Debuting in similar is a concept from the origins of VTubing. And I'm sorry, the origins of VTubing as we know it today. I contend that VTubing has been around for a while, but not in the form that like you're seeing right now, or that is widespread and known now. A lot of the origins of it come from idol culture. So the idea of Japanese idol groups and things like debuts and graduations are all terms that come from there. So in the same vein, since you're probably not part of an idol group or wave or something like that when you start, if you're starting out like indie and the like, use of things like debut and whatnot are generally unnecessary. Even the concept of having one is not necessary. I did one just to show off the new model as sort of a like, hey, look at this cool new thing I have. But you don't have to. You can just do. Oh, okay. So mob template is now a character body 2D. That's right. It's a cultural thing. It's the terminology that has been adopted is just sort of, well, it's just adopting that terminology. It's I believe Tass's name tag is blue because he's a mod. Yes. Just checking to make sure that's how it was functioning for you guys. Probably older than you think, Max. Canonically, there's a lot of weirdness to that. But probably older than you think, and improvement over time is just practice. It's just practice. That's why I often advise people that are interested in VTubing not to dive in head first. A lot of people want to have like the super expensive live 2D model to begin with, and oh wow, Mangle, oh wow, I thank you. I thank you for that guess. But yeah, that's why I advise things like PNG tubing to start with. Or if you don't want to go with a flat image, doing something like I can't remember what it's called. Oh, you didn't get it correct at all, Mangle. But for the purposes of the fourth wall, we won't go into more detail. But no, that's super wrong. That's right, maybe. the nanotype body is only a couple of years old, but the completely legitimately and consensually obtained mental engram that is the voice speaking to you is much older. All right, Max, thanks for swinging by. Okay, so it has a sprite, it has a movement template, and it has a name. So I can instantiate them accordingly. This still isn't quite right. Not quite right. At Fox King, that's 2 of 5. The upper one is Sherbet, and the lower one is Sammy. They are both the cats that don't like me to trim their little murder mitts. Sherbet in particular. Very much not, Mangle. And like I said, for the purposes of Fourth Wall, we won't go into any more detail than that. So for those joining, we're trying to do some game development here. Yeah. Volume control in general is, I think, a thing that a lot of games need to look into. There are going to be circumstances where I need to turn the volume down, and I want to have some flexibility there. The Ace Attorney games are actually an example of that. I think it's not even acceptable that it was because they were on like DS and similar initially. They have 5 volume settings. So it's like, off, max, and then 3 intermediary settings. And they're not enough. Generally, I have it set to minimum, and then I have it lowered another 5 decibels to make it work. Tuxedo's a fun color. One of my prior cats. You can see him in some of my prior shorts. Seamless plug, watch my shorts. Was named Rorschach. He was a tuxedo. He had a very asymmetric kind of splotchiness to his face. So what we're trying to do is make it so that I can just refer to a mob template. We don't really need a lot of mods currently, Mangle. Generally, it's somebody that's been around a long time and somebody that I think knows the flow of the channel. Maybe in the future, but we'd have to see. I mean, this one's going to contain cat bots. And now I kind of want to put cat ears on the blobs, but, one step at a time. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it so that I can define a mob with a mob template. And that I could store that off, but I don't want necessarily the nodes and whatnot to be stored off. We might just have to roll with that for now. So a mob template itself can't be instantiated. It doesn't have pieces. So what we want to do is it shouldn't have any logic itself. The individual versions of it should accept these, and then they should instantiate them. But I don't know that this will actually work. We're going to try it. So function ready. Just going to put a pass in there while we think about it. On the topic of waiting, I've got to be right back. It'll be just a moment. While I'm away, if you like what you've seen so far and would like to see more, remember to like, comment, and subscribe in similar on the live so that the algorithm knows what you like and will show you more in the future if you do. But with that said, be right back just a moment. Just a moment, settling back in, folks. Ember is coming to visit. All right, so everything about the mob template is now contained inside of the sprite and the movement. It will also have a collision object added. So let's see here. If we go to spawner just to check how we did this, we instantiate it. How far do I have things planned there, maybe? General flow that I'd like to do is to have it start out and escalate as far as concept, so, or at least imagery. Initially, the catbot will move out and just sort of tag houses and the like. And that's what levels it up to start with, just as like the first thing to give you the first tool. After that, it will be sort of it will have the vibe of a GTA-like wanted system. Is over time, there will be a visual escalation of the opponents. Now, this is not uncommon. Most Survivors games do that. but the idea being that there is an increasing opposition to what the catbots are up to. And that while canonically the behavior is still similar, it's the reaction of people to the behavior is changing. And it will culminate with likely a nuke. And then it starts over. Okay, see. Instantiate it. We set the stuff. We go from there. Okay, okay. So in mob template. No, the initial catbots will be... The imagery will be that the catbot is essentially shipped out. It goes out, and they essentially go to a house. And then it just sort of ping-pongs between them. It's not, like, mechanically the same way. I mean, we could even start with a different character sprite to do that initial shipment concept. That was if you touch the Nyano, maybe. You shouldn't touch the Nyano, you shouldn't eat the Nyano, you shouldn't look at the Nyano. If you do... Okay. Is it mob? It was spawner. Self-add child. Yes. Will this work? I don't know if this will actually function. As... I don't know if this will actually work the way that I'm doing it. Hopefully it will. I'd rather not have to rip up floorboards again. Dear, dear, dear. Template script. Yep, yep. Add child. 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 Same. There's elements of this I don't know if it's going to work. I'm trying to get this functional. It's just all right. We'll need something that you can pass a target to them, because all movement has a target. So there'll be a yeah, this isn't how I want it to work. Oh, man. So, ultimately, how I want this to function is that some outside entity takes a listing of this and then sets this up. It should not be doing it itself. I need a way to take the resources and have these objects, these sprite templates and the like, referenced in them. But I would like them to be referenced specifically. Okay. Data containers. All right, baby. Thanks for joining us. Reading some documents here. So this is what I want to use. I want something that isn't visually instantiable, but it needs to be able to have references to what we're doing here. Yeah, resources like an anything. Not much there, Mangle, aside from me figuring out that the way I've been trying to set out to do it won't work, which is unfortunate. Because what that ultimately means is probably more rip up the floor and redo it. We're just going to call it new resource. I'm going to mess around with it. No. That's not how we do it. That's a resource. As I mean, Foxy missing an eye would essentially be an eyeless Foxy, given that it already has one missing eye. If I recall. Ah, okay. Good old autocorrect, huh, Mangle? Okay, so if I have a new script object, so then I go into a scene. Just a can export, but it doesn't extend node, so it can't extend node-like things. All right, let's see if we can make this function as I hoped to begin with. What's that, Mangle? Potentially very unsafe. You got to be careful with that. Game. There should be a game scene. There we go. Spawner object. Mob template. Templates export this, but okay. Might still be salvageable. So a blob is a mob template. Mob sprite will be template. Mob sprite needs to be a sprite template. Why can I not? They don't. Act scene won't necessarily work for this. Let's try it. This will probably explode. But we'll find out. Mob sprite is the blob sprite. Why can I not put? Not loading it. This is what I want to be able to do, is I want to be able to say it has one of these, but it's not accepting this into it. Hey there, ITR. Yep, that's 2 of the 5, so we're keeping that camera on him. Welcome back, Mangle. Beverage. Oh. Hey there, VR. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is get a resource structure so I don't have to individually create each instance of the creature. Like, I don't have to reference it specifically. So I have the idea, so I've got this animated sprite here. And I want to be able to put this in another object. Then inside of this one, I've tried to reference it as a class that I've created. But it won't let me put those there. So if I go into the specific scene, I can't put stuff there. I'm missing something. I thought I had the pattern. Somebody had mentioned that you could use resources for this. But I might be doing that wrong. So it's tricky. I don't know if I answered DR there, but doing well. Doing well. Confused, but not yet frustrated with the code. Maybe it's that we're using act scenes here. Does it have to be a resource object to work like this? We don't want it to be a resource right away. We want it to be script. Scripting, we go into our new script. So resource. So I can't use my specific stuff here. Clearly doing this wrong. And the tutorial is a whole video on doing it from what I saw, so referencing this incorrectly. It's distinctly possible. So yeah, ITR, I am trying to I'm trying to make it so that I can set up individual behaviors and sprites for these entities without having to individually create all of the scenes, duplicate all of that work. Like, you know, make the same entity. So I may have to come up with something a little different to do this. This resource uses a packed scene. No worries there, Mangle. Can I get around this? Say uses a sprite template, right? No. Let's use a pack scene. Then New resource. And you can take a packed scene. Okay. Okay. I think this is what we need to do. So I make an entity that represents the template. And then I can create an instance of the template to act as the resource. Then the entity that's going to use it creates the generic body. And then it will take the resource that it's given and use that resource to fill in the rest of the body. So it will also need a collision to go with the sprite. How to do. We want this animated sprite, and then we want a collision box that goes with the animated sprite. I will not do anything there. Can I not? Okay, so the animated sprite can't take that. So character body 2D needs a collision zone to function the way that it does. I want this animated sprite to be part of it, but I also want a collision zone to be part of it that I can gracefully create here. Without having to eyeball it, you know? And without having to do a song and dance of instantiating it, juggling it around, that kind of thing. So I could have a scene that is the body 2D. And have the whole thing. Those that are familiar with it, what do you think? So right now I have it where it's just the sprite, but I could have it be the entire like base of it. So the character body 2D with the hitbox with the animated sprite, and then I graft the movement pattern to it. So it's still a two-part entity where we instantiate the character body 2D, and then we assign the behavior entity as a child of it. I think that could still work. Because there's nothing special to go with the character body 2D. It's just a part of it. Yeah. Sprite template isn't really saving me anything the way it sits. So if I have a mob template and it's a character body 2D, yeah, the hitbox is a problem. Okay. So mob template as it stands isn't what we want. So the individual mob image and body need to be defined. So we make that a character body 2D. We give it an animated sprite, and we give it a collision box. So that's the first part of a mob template is its body. Then the second part is its movement template. So we're going to create new script. It's going to be empty, and we're going to call it a mob body. No. This is a... this isn't actually... This is actually the mob template. And the body is defined... Okay, no, I do need a mob body, and it extends... Yeah. New scene. Start with the node 2D. We need to give it a specific entity type here. It's character body 2D. And script, it's a mob body. Doesn't have any of that. Other than class name, and it is a mob body. We are doing this because we want to be able to call them all mob body. Okay. Then blob extends mob body. Doesn't have any of these. Doesn't even need the blob script. Delete you. A body. It's called a blob. Go into our animated sprite. See that. I don't know if I can actually do this, but okay, I can't. We'll just remake it. Why you do this? We're having some mechanical difficulties here. Why can I not open this? Save the project. Let's do a quick test. We'll kick it over and see if it behaves properly. Okay, it was just having technical difficulties. Copy you. Ah. Okay. Okay. We're having to redo some stuff. Mangle. A little taller. If you go down a couple frames. I think that'll about do. Okay. So then that's a mob body. Save that. Discard you. Okay. Okay, I think we've got that going. So now... Get rid of mob template. Template script. I've answered that, Mangle. I had to redo one of the things that we were doing before, and we're getting there now. I have redone the idea of the templates so that I can put them in resources. Okay. I won't blob save. Is there a name conflict? What's wrong with it? Still loading blob sprite scene. Oh, that's why. That's why. Delete that. Alright, well, we'll just redo it. Welcome back, Creepy. Animation. Sprite frames. Edit that. It's from a sprite sheet. Art. Blob. Blob open. 6x1. Separation. Add all 6. It is 6x. Up to there. Okay, that's why it wasn't saving. So I am attempting to get the creatures to be templated. We're just about there. We're just about there. So I have the mob body. We don't need mob quite yet anymore. Get a script. And it is going to be a mob template. Make that. Open that. It extends resource. Export. So we're not going to be able to use a mob body here. An actual mob body object. Because if I do mob body, it's going to complain because it can't use a node drive, so we have to use a packed scene. I don't like that movement template. I like that the naming is inconsistent, but we'll do that. Okay, so we have a mob template resource and a mob body object here. So then in blob, we're going to create a new resource. This is the blob body. No worries, no worries. This is a mob template. Oh wait. Go into the mob template script. It is a class name. Mob template. Welcome back, Mangle. I think we've got our templates going now. I think we've got that working. So we're going to create a new resource. It's going to be a mob template. Be a mob blob. Okay. Mob blob is a body of a blob body, and it has movement of tracking movement. Okay, and then okay, so then we're going to remove the mob scene in the mob script. Should cause the spawner to have problems shortly. Right, that won't work. Okay, so spawner, what it's going to get is it's going to get a mob template, which is it's the player and it gets the template. So it's going to get a resource with two objects in it. Okay. So then go into the main scene, the game scene. So we have a spawner. Spawner should be exporting something here. Mob to spawn. Also player target and similar. Why does this not work? Oh, I haven't defined spawner as an entity, or is a type, as a type. Okay. Spawner is a packed scene right now. I don't want it to be a packed scene. It's like that sometimes. Why do you keep doing that? Oh. This is fine, one way or another. So we go into game. We don't want a spawner like this. We want to create a new node. We're going to look for a spawner like that. And that spawner should have Hey there, Ethan. I do like the soundtrack. Every now and then I try to go back through and find new songs to put on it. There are some of them that go that thematically are a little harder or softer than the others. This one was kind of upbeat. Why does this not export properly? Spawner, you extend node, and you export 3 things. To the do that. It's not exporting any of its types here. That's weird. Oh, that's why. Trying to preload it. Okay, we're gonna comment block you. Okay, so then we go up into spawner, and it's still not working. Spawner should have 3 values. But it doesn't. It doesn't have any. Welcome back, Max. And Ethan, I'm making a game. Trying to make a game. Spawner script. Oh. Save. go up into the game scene. Aha. Player target, and the mob to spawn template shall be a mob blob. Okay, so then we go into spawner. Okay. We're going to throw a pass down here just in case. If I don't have that, it's going to be upset with me. So, new mob is equal to spawn dot body instantiate. Okay, so this is the mob body. I mean, that can be good as long as you, like, encapsulate them. For example, Team Fortress 2, rocket jumping and the like, I don't mind. It is coded into the structure, like they built the game around it, and there are mechanics to allow you to do it properly. In Team Fortress 1, rocket jumping was a side effect of the physics system, and the only way to really do it right was it was kind of an inside baseball thing. Like, you had to know that it was a thing, and you had to know the precise timing for it. So I find from a design perspective, Team Fortress 2 is better because they have taken a bug and they've made it a feature. They haven't just declared it a feature. Potentially. I'm not familiar with the Fortnite that exists now. I only ever really played Fortnite in its original form, when it was a tower defense game. I liked it better as a tower defense game. Dot. Movement template what? Body to move, body to track, and speed. I mean, the look might throw it away. it's a weird time to live when people sounding like an AI is a much more nuanced thing, as opposed to it's some time ago that would have been sounding like a text to speech, and now it's a sounding human but with oddities of inflection. Those are 2 of my 5 cats. Those are that one. The top one is Sherbet, and the bottom one is Sammy. Okay. Body to move, body to track, and speed. Body. It's a movement template. Something's wrong with movement template then. It should have a physics body. I recall having a hamster. I recall having many hamsters, or a variety of hamsters. They can be very cute. Their lifespan and some of their proclivities can make it tricky. But they are cute. They are very cute. Template. Body to move, body to track, and speed. Big dogs, little dogs. Here. You're learning along with the community. That's what you're doing, Ethan. Why does movement template not have the member functions that it's supposed to? Player target. Body. Child. Template. Child. Okay, okay. Will this function? And away he go. Nyom. Okay, it's not working right yet. into tracking movement. Speed is 0. That is fine, Mangle. You are free to stay. Why are you moving like that, though? Okay, it's not animating, and it rocket launches itself to the left. Shouldn't be able to move that fast. Why isn't it animating? It'll do. All right, Ethan. Thanks. Thanks for joining us. In the spawner script, we instantiate it. Since its speed is 0, it shouldn't move at all. I am US based. One up from it. And then its position is 0, 0. Body to track. Above. Yeah. Speed is 0. Its velocity. Still got something wrong there. Nope, Mangle. Normalized, yeah. I don't dislike those things. I do like pizza. Not a fan of pizza rolls. Haven't found a good one yet. I do like garlic bread. Reloaded the scene, but okay. So the movement template isn't getting these set. Oh, I don't like nothing like that. I'm not a fan of meat pies. Okay, so movement template and mob body are being instantiated. I do like burgers. Generally a plain burger. Maybe cheese is good. If it's gonna have a condiment, then mustard. Okay, so my body is a packed scene. What do I do with a packed scene in a script? Yeah, I can do instantiate. Tacos can be good. I don't like real tacos. I prefer Taco Bell. Not as much burritos. All right, let's do this again. path yet. Okay. So the body to move and the body to track aren't set yet. Player target exists. In theory, as soon as I do this on movement template, body to track should be filled in. But it is empty. Those are all good things. They all can be good things. Part of why I'm kind of cagey about that is kind of like how I mentioned with tacos. It's the individual instance matters. It's not just burgers in general. Different places make different quality burgers. Like, I don't like McDonald's burgers. That kind of thing. French fries and mashed potatoes can be good. Chips in the US sense can be good. Not fond of like potato wedges or like, chunky fries, steak fries, that kind of thing. I don't find them as good. If I'm gonna have like a fried potato slice, then I would prefer it to be either I'd prefer it to be crispy, but not too much of it. Okay, so body to move and body to track are still listed as empty. Uh, 323968. So then we're going to go into movement template. Tracking movement, I should say. Okay. This is a different object ID, body to move and body to track. And its velocity property isn't showing. Hey there, Cheese. Welcome. I think we are close to wrapping up, but I'd like to get a little further before we do. The character body 2D. And it is in core. So this should be the player object. Is there a console that we can mess with? Yep, that's Sherbet and Sammy. For those arriving late, we can see 5 cats. We can see all 5. So there's Sherbet and Sammy, as you saw, the little tan and white in the black and white. Mason is on the cat tree. He's the little tan lump there. Then you can see kind of a dark gray and white, and then a gray and white. That is Sky laying on top of and grooming Ember. So we can see all 5. So I can't see a velocity property. All right, let's... Okay, we're not going to move it like that. We're going to move it using this. Cheese can be good. I'm primarily partial to Colby Jack. Okay, it's a start. Velocity on the object is messed up. I don't know why the player body is doing that. Body to move might be the wrong one. Body to track is the player. Body to move is the mob body. All of those can be okay. If it's a peanut butter sandwich, I would prefer that there be some, I don't know, like a moisturizing element. You know, your jellies are a good addition to that. It's a nice raspberry jelly. Grilled cheese is easy to mess up. No, not a Nutella person. Chocolate is not my favorite. It's good, but you know, like a good PB and J is, you know, it's good, but it's so sugary it might as well be a dessert. You know, I have I have at times indulged in a bowl of peanut butter mixed with you know, fake maple syrup. Your you know, your off the shelf style. So there's something wrong with this, effectively. This is flawed. Just add these in there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that seems to have forced it. Now we just need the sprites animating properly. Okay. Okay, I think we accomplished most of what we wanted to. Going to assume that's like eyeing hello there. Hello. We have almost got our code back to where it was. Let's see if I can get the animations going. I want to get the animations going. Okay, so we go into the 2D of the blob body. This is an animated sprite. How do we make it animate by default? Because I could just go into the logic and manually animate it. I mean, I think kind of like I said there, Mangle, I like a lot of different foods, but it comes down to like the individual foods. I don't really have a favorite, and I am prone to was it hyper fixating on a type of food. So I'll eat a whole bunch of that and then I'll move on to something else. The favorite doesn't stick around for very long, you know? I mean, we had a conversation about it. You learned something. You learned something about me. Okay. Okay. If we're in blob and All right. Well, we're going to have to fix the animation next time. Worst case, I will go in and I will go through and just manually animate the sprite again. One. Name would definitely be too personal. There we go. But we're going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up here. So we mostly got what we were setting out to do. What we were aiming for is to change the sprites in Similar over from having to manually create each entity and instead making it so that we could create templates. Like, this is what the thing looks like. This is what it moves like. I don't have to create a scene for every creature. I can create resources for it. I could create a database of them. So instead of specifically going in and saying, make a spawner that is exactly this, I could even set it up to say, here's a spawner, spawn mob 5. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I hope you all had a good time. If you liked what you saw and would like to see more, remember to like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is for the platform that you're viewing through. All the buttons are good in general. So, press them. I do plan on having another coding stream tomorrow. Hopefully, nothing will go wrong. And we'll go from there. It will be at least, we'll start by 4 p.m. Central if we're on schedule. So yeah, again, I hope you all had a good time. I hope you have a good evening. And I will see you again next time. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time. So again, night, everybody.